doesn't have strings attached to it. You know, the world's kind of love is, well, if you do this for me, I'll do that. I'll do this for you if you'll do that for me. Okay? And when you have that unconditional love, then you're able to love yourself, because then you know if you were the only one, he would have died just for you. It's kind of hard to get that in the thoughts, but it's true. And when you realize that's your worth to him, you're so worth it to him that he would have done that, then you love yourself. And once you love yourself, then you can properly love somebody else.
That's right.
That's the order of it. God's love, love yourself, love other people. Now the third vice that the devil tricks people with could be sex outside of marriage or lust. We want to go into all the details of the different things they may think, but we'll just put a few in there. Now, this is temporary physical pleasure that has many negative consequences. Physical disease, emotional pain, etc., etc. Now, in Proverbs 6:32, it says, whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding, and I would venture to say with a man also. The women don't get off the hook. Okay. He who does so destroys his own soul. Sexual sin messes with your mind, will, and your emotions. You know, for men too, but especially for women. They're very attached emotionally, and it just, well, I'm sure you girls have heard it, right? Oh, I love you, honey. And then, where'd he go, right? He didn't, no, okay, I won't go there. So, you flee sexual immorality. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he who commits sexual immorality sins against his own body. Sexual sin hurts you, your partner, and God. That's a triple whammy there. Why do you think the devil is so rampant on that? Why do you think everything you turn on TV seems to have a connotation of it? Everywhere you go, everything you do, it's like in your face. Hebrews 13:4 says, marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled. So God didn't give you these desires just to torture you with it. He said, get a spouse. And the bed is undefiled. He blesses the marriage bed. There's nothing wrong with that. But fornicators and adulterers, God will judge. Now, remember, these are the unbelievers, okay? Because Jesus already took the price for us if we did something like that before we got saved. We're forgiven. Amen. Okay? People who choose not to accept Christ, they will stand in judgment for the things they've done in their physical bodies and the words that came out of their mouth. So, pleasure with your spouse is a thumbs up with God. That's thumbs up. But notice it didn't say with someone else's spouse. Or with your, you know. Okay. So he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And I venture to say he who finds a husband finds a good thing too. Let's get it for the girls too. People want love and respect. Now, also, there's nothing wrong with being single if you choose to. In 1 Corinthians 7:8-9, Paul said, but I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it's good for them if they remain even as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. Now, I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to tell you, when I was a child, I don't know who repeated it to me, but somebody said to me, oh, it's better to marry than to burn. And as a child, I thought, oh my God, you're going to go to hell if you don't get married. You see how easy words can get twisted because he didn't put the last part on there, burn with passion. I mean, that just basically means that if you have those kind of desires to be intimate with somebody, then it needs to be your spouse. You know, you need to get married to make it right. Now, the world doesn't want to hear that. You know, they think you're just old as mold. Okay. Now, another counterfeit that the devil throws at people is money or things unrightfully obtained. To cheat, steal, coerce. He tells you that you'll have security if you have lots of money or things, no matter what you do or who you hurt to obtain them. And I don't want to name names or point fingers, but I can think of some people in upper parts of the government that come to mind, but I won't mention them. Once I saw a bumper sticker that said, he who dies with the most toys wins. And I venture to say that's an outright lie. Because I don't care how many toys you think you have. When you die, they're not going with you. So I don't think you won, did you? Okay. No. Now, God gave you your innermost desires. He created those in you. And we should want to be on the winning team. And that's only through salvation with Jesus. You can try all these things out here and you're not going to win. You think you will, but you won't. People who don't know the Lord are in blindness. They're unsaved. They're untaught. So these people that are doing these things, if they're unsaved people, they're blinded. They think these things are going to fulfill them. They're living in the flesh under their temptations. Now, the devil dupes you, but God opens your eyes to the truth. What does dupe mean? Believe it or not, God had me look that one up. I thought I knew. One who is easily deceived or cheated. The longer you stay in your mess, the less you seem to notice it. You know, if you ever notice people doing all these things, they don't even seem to notice it. They don't notice the smell or their face is looking 10 years older in 2 years. They don't notice it because they're amongst it, and it just grows kind of normal to them, and it's not normal. Okay, but when the cleansing comes, then you realize just how dirty things were. We tend to get used to our environments and don't always see what God and others see. Now, the devil is a counterfeit, but God is the real deal. God's truth is amazing. First of all, he gives you revelation. That's the act of revealing or enlightening or astonishing disclosure. And God's pretty astonishing. If you don't think so, read some of the miracles in the Bible when you have time. What about the multiplying of the food? I tend to like food, so that's a good one for me. Astonish means to strike with sudden and great wonder or to amaze. God amazes me with the things he does and the things that happen that I know could only be him.